Months after historic flooding filled areas of southern Minnesota, the rebuilding process continues as fall approaches.
Aaron Stuvey reports on the state of the rebuilding process and what federal support is still available.
We have people that haven't even begun yet because they haven't had insurance and time and money and everything, and everybody still has to live their life through this process.
3 months removed from the peak of flooding, life has returned to close to normal in Waterville. FEMA set up a temporary office in August, and Wednesday was its last day of operation. FEMA says they served 346 residents in their time there, and that despite them packing up shop, people can still file claims until the 27th.
We've seen everything from houses being flooded, from people needing to be moved to another home, helping people to rent another place. So we're here to provide 100% help and also mitigation.
The floodwaters have been gone for a couple of months now, but residents say that there's still much to be done, especially as summer turns to fall and winter is around the corner. Alongside the FEMA support, the city is offering residents materials to help with the rebuild process, which city leaders say will take long into next year, and there's a race to get important things done as soon as possible.
Come and get some insulation and some plastic so you can get to that point where you can run heat, and because we're still in danger here of having more damage to homes if pipes freeze, and you know, we can't let that weather set in on these homes.
In Waterville, Aaron Stuvey, KUYC News Now.